What's up, everybody? This is your boy Slap, and today I'm going to break down my top five list of expenses that I feel like you need to know before you get started in your van cargo delivery business. Stay tuned. We're going to get into this. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content that I'm going to be doing on this channel, okay? Now, you want to get started in the business. You're thinking about getting your van. You're thinking about getting your insurance. You're thinking about getting your LLC, your EIN, your business bank account. Good. It's enough money out here for everybody to eat. Now, what you're going to want to do first is also account for the expenses you need to know before starting your van transport business. Now, in this video right here, I'm going to break down my top 5 list of expenses that I feel like you need to know after, of course, you got your insurance and your truck payment and everything like that. We're already rolling. You're already skipped past that part right here. You're now on the road. You're now making deliveries and going right into it. I feel like the number 1 expense that you're going to have to know about is going to be your gas expense. You are going, if you're owner operator, that is, you're going to be having to account for every trip you get dispatched, how much gas you're going to have to use on this trip. For example, if you are going from Atlanta, Georgia to Paris, Tennessee, let's say the job is paying $480. You need to go in and say, hey, out of that $480, how much gas am I probably going to be using to travel all the way up there, deliver, and either wait for something coming back or travel all the way back. That can be pretty expensive as far as the expense goes in your as far as the trip goes, that trip or whatnot, the gas. Sorry, I stumbled over everything in my mind. But anyways, you want to account for everything, every dollar for every trip that you're going to be doing as far as this goes, all right? So just make sure that you have a clear plan as far as what you're going to do, whether you're going to get a business credit card and pay everything back at the end of the month, whether you're going to just, every job you have, you're going to just pay cash. You might have starter cash, or you may have a Comdata card provided by the company you're running freight for, or you may have got one yourself. Whatever the case may be, gas is going to be a very, very expensive expense in this business. So you want to make sure that you just have everything broken down as far as your plan, gas related wise, what you're going to do before you get started moving freight. Now, expense number 2, not that big of a deal, but then again, it is a big of a deal. Your food and your drinks. I am of the recommendation that you should always go to the store before hitting the road, and just go to the store and buy, sandwich meat or chips or salads, whatever you do. I'll buy salads, I put them in my cooler, so I can just if I get hungry, I can just grab a salad wherever I'm at and just eat real quick, so I don't have to continue to spend money out of a trip. If you have a trip that's paying you $500, let's say you have to spend $100 in gas, you don't want to spend another $40 going to stop and get bags of chips. Something from McDonald's, something from Arby's. So, you don't want to have to be spending a bunch of money as far as food goes. Next thing you know, you cut down well under the amount of money that you're actually going to make because you're spending it all on your food and your drinks. So go to the store before the week begins. Buy your 12-pack of waters. You can usually get a 12-pack of waters for a cheap thing of waters for like freaking $2.99 to $5.99. Buy you some waters, put them in your cooler, buy you some sandwich meat, buy you some food that you can have on your trip so you don't have to spend that, you don't have to use that expense. You can control it, at least as far as that goes, on your trip, so you can just make sure you maximize the most amount for your money, all right? Now, number 3, very important, your maintenance expense. You're gonna have to get oil changes. You're gonna make sure that everything's working properly on your vehicle. You're gonna make sure get your tires changed out. Make sure you get them rotated. That is a very important expense, especially for owner operators. If you drive for somebody, that's probably not your problem, but if you're an owner operator, that is something very important. So you have to make sure you take into account that, hey, I'm going to have to make sure I keep the maintenance up on this vehicle so I can make sure I keep the wheels turning. You're not making money if the wheels aren't turning. So before you get started, make sure you understand that, hey, you're going to have maintenance expenses, and they can hit you at any time. So make sure you get that taken care of, because you want to make sure you're always able to keep the tires moving at all times, all right? Now, going into the next expense, this can be another expense that can get expensive, that can take money out of your pocket. Your hotel expenses. You may have to go stay in a hotel. You might be somewhere. You may have to pick up something in let's say from Atlanta to Texas. You might have to pick up something in Texas, and then you may have to overnight it because you may not be able to deliver that freight. Let's say you picked it up Friday, you may not be able to deliver it to Monday morning at 8 a.m. So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna sleep in your van all weekend? During the summer, Texas gets hot. Are you gonna run your van all weekend? Are you gonna sit there and stay inside of your van while it's hot? And you know, just throwing things out there right there, hypotheticals. Well, you want to make sure, you might want to be staying in a hotel. I've done it before. I had to go sit on freight, and I'm like, hell man, I can't deliver it till a couple of days from now. Do I want to stay in the van? Do I want to go get a hotel? Do you want to stay in a Roach Motel? Do you want to stay somewhere decent? So you just always got to keep that, you know, keep that in mind, okay? That's going to be an expense as well that you have to make sure you factor in before you get started in this business. Your hotel stays or whatnot. So before you get started, whether you have points at different hotels or you have a credit card, whatever the case may be, make sure you account for your expense of when you're going to be staying, well, you may have to stay in a hotel, maybe storming real bad, not to get somewhere hunker down. I was in Detroit on a trip, and it started storming real bad. Tornadoes were dropping out of the sky like left and right. So I was like, do I want to stay in the van? Well, no, I didn't. I just went and got a hotel. I was able to hunker down. Everything was all good, okay? So make sure you have that in mind as far as before you get started. Account for that as being an expense as well. All right, now last tip, very important, your emergency fund. The emergencies. Anything can happen when you're on the road. Things happen. What happens if a big 18-wheel trailer's in front of you, it spits up a rock and cracks your windshield? That could take you out of service. What happens if your headlight, you hit a deer and it busts up your front headlight or whatever the case may be? A lot of the time, police gonna hang you an SR13 or whatever, fill it out, and you have to go through insurance yourself and whatnot and get it fixed because you hit a deer, you hit another vehicle. Or you can just pay the money or whatnot, get that taken care of. Your light bulb might blow, brake light may go out. Anything can happen. You might bust a tire. You might get an emergency service out there to come help you, you know, get this tire changed, whatever the case may be. You have to take into account everything as far as expense-wise, as far as an emergency fund-wise, when you are an operator of a van. This is very important. Make sure you make sure that you keep that in mind because anything can happen. You are driving, you are on the interstate. There are thousands, hundreds of thousands of vehicles that you're driving past every day. You're making moves on this on the slab, man. I call it the slab interstate. So you just got to make sure that you understand things can happen. You have to have an emergency fund ready just in case you need to get something fixed and get back rolling. Now, those were my top 5 tips right there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Those of you in this business, comment below, man. Let me know what you think, man. Let me know what your 5 tips are. Those of you who want to get into this business, I hope this information that I provided you with suits you well, and I hope it still motivates you. I hope it still keeps you hungry to get started in this business because like I said, if your wheels ain't turning, you ain't making no money. You got to keep those wheels turning to make some money, baby. Keep your hustle on, man. Thank you guys so much. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Be blessed. Peace.